I'd like to thank everyone. I hit 100 subscribers the other day. So that was kind of a cool goal to get to. It's not really something that I expected. So I appreciate it. Actually, I think last I checked, it was 105. So I hope everybody's enjoying the videos. I'll keep posting them as long as I keep doing stuff to the car and I keep moving along. And I appreciate everybody that's watching. All right, so Friday when I left, it was when I left for that trip to Atlanta, or to Blairsville, it was 102 degrees here. Today it's Monday, 5 o'clock at night, and it's like 68 degrees. It's just the weirdest weather. So I'm going to work on getting some of this cleaned up. So this is why I needed that fender. See, that's what the fender looked like that was on my car. So that's why I needed that. The door. I wanted because I had this big old dent and everything in this one. So I figured it'd just be nicer to have a door that didn't have the dent in it. And then I don't have to do the body work on it either. So, and yeah. So we're going to work on getting that other seat in. That's going to be today's job. And then, I don't know, I might piddle around with getting some of this other stuff done. Like, this has to start getting cleaned up, for paints. I could pull this seal off, get this stuff all cleaned up, and get it ready for sanding. But yeah, that's what we'll work on today. Okay, so I'm working on these back bolts on the passenger side, because these were the ones that were rusted out. And I've gotten this one drilled out. I got it off to the side. I don't know if you're going to be able to see in there, but there's a couple of levels in there. Now my hope is that I can get this in there and it'll go in, but I'm hoping that when I pull this up, it's enough to get in between that gap in there. That's the hope. If not, I'm going to have to cut it out, weld a piece in, and do it. But the hope is that I can maybe get that in there like that. So wish me luck. Oh yeah, baby. That sucker is in there. It ain't going anywhere. I mean, it's in there tight. It's probably not perfect, but it's in there. Took a lot to get it threaded down in there. But it's in there. So I think that might work. Hopefully I'll be able to do the same thing for the other side. I got to get that drilled out now. All right. 2 for 2. And it's Tuesday, so it's 2 for Tuesday. It's still hot, even though it's like, I don't know, 8 o'clock at night maybe. Something like that. It's still hot. I'm sweating. So that'll be it for today. But that took me, I don't know, maybe an hour and a half. I mean, I'm half tempted to do the same thing on the other side. Since the bolts are out, it'll be easy to drill them out. And that way I don't have to worry about it, but I'll leave it for now. But I at least I know that's always an option. So, yeah, I guess next thing will be, I'm going to clean this little bit of mess up here, but next thing will be getting the seat rails on the seat. And seeing if I can get the seat in. So, very happy with that. All right, so I have run into a problem. And I don't understand why, but when I put this on this hole, that hole does not line up. It's like a ½ an inch off. It's the right distance from the front. The fronts fit, but for some reason the backs are a ½ an inch off. So I don't know what I am going to do about that. And I don't know why that side would be slanted that way. Or actually, it's slanted in. Right? No, it's slanted out. So if I line that one up, this one comes out. Okay, so the first thing I'm trying is I drilled that hole a little further over so I could slide this rail that way a little bit. And I'm hoping that's enough. So we are going to see. We'll try to put it back in. Success. Front bolts in. Bear with me. I know it's dark. Slide it forward. Pull it forward. Back bolts in. I don't have them tightened all the way down, but they're in. Seats in. Both seats work. Both seats fit. Both seats are in. Beautiful, 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 beautiful. Success on that. So that's a win for today. So I think I'm just going to start cleaning some stuff up and trying to get it ready for sanding and painting and all that. And I think what I'll do is I just put the fender on just to... It is different though. Let me see if I can show you. So that down there where it attaches to the car is different. It is not the same. So I'm going to have to figure out how to do that. But I'll clean up that rust around there as well. But yeah, so it doesn't fit the same as this one. So this is on the fender and then goes... Let's see if I can... Alright, so this would have been attached to the fender and was screwed into this part right here. This doesn't do that. So I don't know what I'm going to do or how I'm going to do that, because that's, definitely stopping it from coming on. And just need to figure that out. Figure out how I'm going to bend that and get that onto that one. But that's the only difference. I think it'll fit fine. And I mean, the color doesn't match. You can tell. But that's okay, because it's getting painted anyway. But glad that seat got in. That worked beautifully. Just moving that nut over, or that bolt over just that little bit, lined it up. So, perfecto. And I started cleaning this, and I got some rust there. I got some rust up in here. I don't think it's all the way through. Feels pretty solid, but I'm going to have to take all that down to bare metal, get all that cleaned. I got a little rust bubble right here, too, going. I'll have to clean that off. So that'll take a wire wheel to it, and there's a little rust right here, too. And a little rust up here as well. But I'm just using a plastic razor blade and some of this orange goo to get all that stuff off, and it actually came off pretty good. I got it a little bit with the metal part, but yeah, I'll have to work on that and get that cleaned up. But I don't think it's all the way through. It's just under the paint job that they did. So that's all right. We'll get a wire brush to that and take care of that. So we'll start working on the other side and see what we come up with over there. All All right, so I started working on the side of the car here and trying to get this off. A lot of this, just kind of like, there's a little bit on there. I'm hoping it'll come off when I sand. But I'm trying different things. But I guess what seems to work best is just this. But of course, I'm out of it now. And then rubber or plastic razor blades. I tried some of these. They work really well, but the problem is if you sit somewhere for just a tad too long, you end up going right through the paint, which is not what I want to do. Not that it's really going to matter because it's getting repainted anyway, but I don't want to be putting big gouges in there. So my biggest problem with these razor blades is finding something that'll hold it, that's strong enough to scrape it. You know, this thing was just a piece of junk. This broke on me. I tried using this. That worked okay because at least it was a little bit tighter in there and I could push a little harder. So I got a little bit more to go on this. I'm not worried about getting it perfect, but at least I can get it, you know, the big chunks off. So when I do go to sand, it's not clogging up my, my sander. So, and then we've got to get all of that bottom sanded, all that rock guard and chip and all that stuff off. So, yeah, I think I might be done for tonight because I ran out of my orange goo stuff. But that worked pretty well. But even with that scraping, it still pulled some of the paint off, you can see, as that stuff was, as I was scraping. So, but yep, good to go. Keep working at it. So I got the front bumper off. And you can tell, you know, it has been resprayed and they didn't take the bumper off when they resprayed. So, kind of glad I'm taking it off and I'll get it cleaned up and we'll get it ready for the next respray. This is why I needed the front bumpers. I only got one. I'm going to need the other side, unfortunately. But these bolts go into it and you can see both sides, the one has snapped. So I guess I could try to get that out and maybe get another one out and put it back in here. Maybe I'll try that for the side that I don't have because I only got one side when I was down at Elliott's because that's all he had. So I'll have to work on that. But front bumper's off. Success. And that'll give me a little more access to here. So I might be able to push that dent out. Find it interesting too. See how this just flaking right off of here? I don't know if there was any primer put on this car. I'm wondering if they just painted this front right onto the bare metal. Because it sure doesn't look like there's any primer there. So I might have to take that down to bare metal and just primer that front nose. Thinking that's what I might have to do. At least it's only that little piece. I mean, the rest of the car would have whatever other coats of paint from the factory are on. So, but I find that kind of interesting that there's no primer at all, and it's just straight to the metal, and it tends to be just flaking off. So, but I can't get this off because, well, if it's factory, it's spot welded, and I'm sure that it is. So, I wonder if did it come like that from the factory without any kind of primer on it, and the paint just put right to the metal? It doesn't make much sense that would be it, but I don't know. Oh, and I got to take these off too, because I want to paint these separate as well. Then I can lower that, and then I'll be able to get to this edge and get that painted. I'll tape all that off, but keep on keeping on. All right, so got a couple of little projects done. I got that put on. You remember that was one of the things I got down at the barn. And then I got my tensioner put on as well. So, got those done. Let's see. Got some sanding pads. I got 320 and 400. So, I mean, this I'll get down to bare metal, but all the other stuff I'll scuff. They said do 320 to get through the grime, and then do 400, and then you can lay your base coat over the 400. Let's see, what else? Oh, I got a new tool. So that's a plastic welding gun, so that'll work on those cracks that are on there. I also got, let's see, where is it? Where'd it go? There it is. I'll put that on there as well. So I think what I'm going to do is put this. These are the, you kind of just, I don't know, does it have a picture? Well, you can't really see them, but it's almost like little staples. And you just kind of melt it into the plastic, and that holds the crack. And then I think what I'll do from the top is I'll maybe channel out a little bit, and I'll mix some of this and then pour it in the crack and then be able to sand it down. And then when I go to paint it, you won't even notice it, but it'll be as good as new. So I got that. Let's see. Oh, I finished the other day. I didn't put this on, but I did that steel stick in all the weld grooves just to get it. I still have to grind it all down and get it smooth, and then I'll just put some I think I'll put some Bondo on that. And the same thing back here. I just went ahead and did the whole crack. Got a couple of holes that I still need to fill, and I got to grind down what I did here and see if that actually filled in the holes there and down here as well. And assuming that did, then I've got a couple of holes on the other side to do as well. And then we're just gonna, I got to get the doors off, got to get the mirrors off. Get this off, get it wiped down, get it cleaned off, and then we can start sanding. Same thing with the front valance and that. Oh, I do have to do one more thing too. So, like I said on the other side, the part that attaches down at the bottom of that part right, oh my gosh, that part right there, right? So that attaches down at the bottom. But when I cut out that section down here, that bracket came with it. Well, it didn't really come with it. It was all rusted away. So what I need to do is I need to get that fender on here, see where that lines up, and then go ahead and fabricate something. And I think what I'll do is I'll just bolt that part down from the inside, from in here. So I'll see where it needs to go. I'll drill it up. Just put a bolt through it, because that could be stationary. That's not going to be taken out. And then be able to affix that wing, that fender from there. Oh, also I got the badge off too. And, yep, I got that off. That just popped out. So obviously that had been replaced at some point in time too. Yeah, so we're going to try to do some of the work this weekend. It's going to be tight. I got a lot of stuff going on this weekend, but I've got to keep working on this. And we still have this welding to do. So I think get that ground down. Lots of stuff. Lots of things to do. I'm thinking I might get a board, because there's so many things that I have to do, and I keep just adding to the list. I think it'd be easier if I had a board, a whiteboard or something. So, but that's just kind of the update. Okay, so we got a couple more jobs done. One, let's see if I can show this to you, was this. So when I cut this piece out, the bracket that attaches to the fender was rusted out as well. So what I did was I just made up a new bracket, and this goes up into the cab, but it's actually in behind and inside where you can't really it won't affect anything. So that is in there, and that's okay that that's the way that it is. And then just a piece right here with a hole, and now that's solid, and that won't go anywhere. So I did that. Let's see, what else did we do today? Will helped today. We got this all cleaned up. It's all rubbery because the decal is now off the back. So that got done. I ground down all my metal stripping, or my metal steel stick. So if you look, that's pretty good. So not too bad. It filled in all the gaps there. And then here as well, there's still quite a good lip right here. So I think all this has to come off anyway. So I think I'll just use some Bondo and I'll feather that in and make it as close as I can. But that came out pretty good as well. That just filled in all the holes as well. So we're moving right along. Also, finally got a board. So that's just all the stuff that I could think of that I need to do right now. And we'll add, we got to knock off a couple of things, but we're moving right along. I did what I want to say, and I forgot to mention, but this rubber wheel, that's what I used to get that off. Tried using it on this, and it did okay as long as it wasn't too thick. But like this stuff right here, it didn't get through. So I've got to get that stuff off. And even like this, it just wouldn't get through it. And what ended up happening was wherever it touched, same thing. It just chewed through the paint. So yeah, I don't know. I don't know what we're gonna do about that. We'll just have to work on getting that, strip it off, because we need to do it on that door too. So then on that fender, I got to get this fender, this bracket figured out over here. Got to get this door cleaned, and I got to get this piece off and get the stuff off of that. This fender doesn't have any, so that helps a little bit, I guess. But yeah. So bonus. All right, another little update. So I've got both the fenders done now. This one, I ended up bending out that piece, and then that piece right here will bolt into that. I've got all the chip guard ground off. That way I'll be able to put fresh and it'll look correct, and I don't have to worry about blending. I don't know how I missed it, but I got 2 holes here. No idea why you would drill 2 holes here, but I gotta grind that down and fill those. And then I was a little worried, especially on this side. I got a couple more little holes just to fill. But I was kind of worried about this, but the panel is actually in really good shape. So then the goal will be get the tire on and get the car lowered. Oh, I also fixed my brake lines. So apparently I had them on upside down. As far as, let's see if I can show you. Here we go. This. I had this coming down and up and through, and then this up. But apparently this is supposed to come up, come down, and through. So I switched both of those today as well. Oh, I got to get this ground down. So I'm able to start taking things off my list, so that'll work. Yeah, I'll just keep working along. Alright, so we got the front wing down to bare metal. There was damage at some point in time. Looks like they drilled holes to try to pull it out. There's still a good sized dent right there. So they did not do a very good job of pulling the dent out. There's a little dent here. A little one right here. But this was just then all filled in with Bondo. And I mean, it was thick. To me, that dent's way too deep just to fill in with Bondo. It needs to be pulled out more. So I'll try to pull that out more once I get my stud welder. I'll try to pull that one out a little bit there. And a little one right here. And then I still got to grind down in the back where I need to pull that back bumper out. But this is down. It was weird. Some of it had primer. Some, like where it was chipping off, it had nothing. Some of it looked like it had multiple layers. So obviously this had been done and redone and everything, but not done very well. So yeah, we'll have to work on pulling those out, and then we'll put a coat of primer on it, and I guess I'm still gonna have to Bondo it because I won't be able to get that completely out. I mean, there's even a dent here. You can see they tried to pull it out, but there's still a big huge dent. And I guess they just drilled holes and put screws in and yanked them. That's how they decided they wanted to try to do it. But I think I might be done for today with this car. I've got to change the oil in the bug. So I think I'm going to get kind of cleaned up here and get the bug pulled in and get the oil changed. Alright. The car is down on its ramp so I can spin it. And that is it for today. We changed the oil in the bug also. I got to get this cleaned off, but yeah, that is done and good. Looks a little more like a sports car when it's down a little lower. So that makes me happy.